Okay, so in this video I wanted to cover another video that was done by a popular YouTuber named Contrapoints. Pretty pretty famous on YouTube. And you may or may not agree with everything. Whatever, we are all individuals, so we all have our things. Regardless of what she covers, the video itself I think really illustrates on a more public level anyone who's been complaining of community harassment, excuse me, community harassment, community mobbing, anything like that, would really appreciate. It's a long video. I'm going to put it in the description box. It's a long video, but it is really, really good. She's describing what happens when you're a popular person and you have a following and you've been targeted. Like an online persona who's been targeted by cancel culture. Which, if you think about it, anyone who's saying that they've been targeted in a way or being community harassed, the objective is to cancel you in some way, to get you to be shut out from people, to silence you in some way, and in some extreme cases to get you to kill yourself, etc., etc., to get in trouble, to be locked up, whatever. And that's a way of canceling you if you're not a well-known person. And she does cover a person who, an online persona who actually did kill themselves, and how, and she talks about the psychology of it all. Excuse me. But so I really wanted to cover this because I feel it is so, it really is connected to what we experience if you're talking about community harassment. Very much the same in a lot of ways. She's talking about the smear campaign, how people are slandered online, called things, being accused of things, having things taken out of context, and having those things being used against them, and people not reading, and so the people who are actually putting together the smear campaign or telling the lies and taking things out of context, they're the ones that have the agenda, right? And then there are the people who don't really think and they just take it for granted. Oh yeah, I'm not going to look into this further. It takes too much time, short attention spans, whatever. I would really suggest watching the video, even if, you have to stop it a few times and watch it periodically, over a period of time, whatever. It's really worth it. As a targeted individual, you would be like, okay, I can see this. If you're feeling like you've been targeted by a community in some way, it really, really illustrates that and the psychological toll that it takes, and really who the people are that do this. They're the people, she compares them to people who are sadists, who like to watch, and I think another YouTuber I watched about Contrapoints was saying that they're the people who like to watch executions. They're the people who are sick. They're the people who, and we all know the people who do this are sick. We've already established that. That's obvious that they have something going on, and then they're not entirely well. Yeah. I would highly, highly recommend watching the video that I'm going to post down below of her. Really good job. But yeah, again, like everything we've talked about, the smear campaign, trying to cancel someone in some kind of way, trying to get someone, just smeared and defamed and brought down, and all for, really sadistic reasons, Yeah, a lot of people who want to, like, be assholes and target me, or like the same person who's like, oh, virtue signaling, the same kind of person who puts signs in their yards, love, not hate, and I love everyone, and everyone accepted here, and all this stuff, and yet they do this kind of stuff. That's a generalization, but that is an illustration of some of the people that are doing this. It's that kind of person, but then, like, they're the ones ready to, like, really dark, just ready to kill someone for whatever reason, really disgusting. Like the comments on, like, if you go on any comment thread of like some article that they didn't read and they get outraged and they're like, oh, kill this person, and oh, and all this sadistic stuff they want to do, even though they don't even know the half of what the article is about or even what actually happened. They're just, even if the article could be a total hit piece. And that's what it is. There's a lot of hit pieces on people, or people who don't agree with a certain type of way of being, a standard, which is ever changing. And it's like, it's really sick. And these people don't see it coming for them, which it will. I mean, they're just going after people either they don't like or they're in competition with. And a lot of these people are just, they have nothing better to do with their day. They're total losers. A lot of these people taking out, like, these creators don't create anything. But yet they're going to go and they take all this time to, like, just bring someone down. And if you don't think that that's going to come back on them, then they got another thing coming, because it's going to come back in some way. Because these people, if you notice, they tend to ruin their lives because of the kind of person they are, right? And they overstep. They constantly overstep. Like, I'm thinking about the cancel culture and this, like, witch hunt on people who are just defamed, whether they be popular or not. And you see this a lot with popular people, because they're in the media, or they're on the internet as pretty public persona, and people go after them. And you see them keep on going after people and going after people. And it's going to be like the Salem witch trials, where someone, the end of the Salem witch trials, like, someone points at the magistrate's wife, it's over, it's done. You're going to go after the wrong person, sadly. It has to take that course where they just keep going, and, nobody cares about the little people, but then they go after someone big enough, and then it all crumbles. They overstep. But it's sad because, like, when you think about community harassment, like, the smaller people who don't have a lot of connections, it really does take a toll, and nobody seems to really care or take the time to listen or believe. And I'm not saying you should believe everyone just off, just right out the door, but, at least try to see what they're talking about. But she also talks about smaller people, and, like, how, with certain big people, it's a blow. Sorry, but it's not that big of a blow, but for a smaller person it is. And you're thinking about people who've been ostracized and been, just treated poorly, or been slandered in their community, or by people, it's that sort of thing. And the smaller person, they don't get as much recognition or as much defense as a bigger person. But she kind of goes into that in some ways. I would definitely watch the video. I'm glad she did a video on this. I mean, she's obviously not canceled off the internet. I think she got Twitter, whatever. Twitter. I don't do Twitter. I mean, I think I opened an account one time, never went back. It's just like, what's the point? But it really is illustrative of, like, what we've gone through. Like, if you listen to each thing, you can see how that is a version, a more popular and more public version of community harassment for the private individual. You can totally see the steps, the things that they do, and what they're trying to accomplish, and it's really sick. But yeah, this is kind of a short video. Maybe I'll do a more in-depth video on this, I don't know. But I would encourage you to watch it and then make the connections yourself about how that is so linked to what we experience through community harassment, covert harassment, all that stuff. So anyway, that's my cat. So anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. The video is in the description link below. Like I said, if you have to stop it a few times and watch it later, I would definitely suggest it. But yes, definitely make the comparison between that and the covert gang stalking, harassment, stalking by proxy, harassment by proxy, all that stuff is totally, you can see it. And you can totally see the steps or the things that are connected. But anyways, So until next time, stay strong, stay peaceful, stay in your power.